We talked about all sorts of different things. It's been mostly about the community, really, and about how to get people together. Also a little bit about the World Cup, a little bit about computers, and anything else I've missed out, Ellen? Housing, has been a bit about housing, the government, all that, you know, so these things come up. Anyway, my name's Mikey. Let's find out who we've got around the table. Oh, we're all switched on and everything. Are you receiving me over there, Rick? Okay, good. Okay, well, let's start this off then. So, what's your name?
Wendy.
Wait, oh, hang on, I've turned you up to... hang on. What's it?
Wendy.
Wendy and?
Avis.
What?
Avis.
Avis. And what's your name?
Loretta.
And?
Elam.
Elam. And I just put the call out. So anyone else who wants to come and sit around, you're playing a game of chess, but you're not. Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. What's your name?
Saeed.
Saeed. So we just and you can come and get involved as well. Yes, you. Yes, you. Come and get. Yes, don't hide behind your flyers. Okay. Maybe these people are going to come and sit down. Come and sit down on the table of chat. Now's a really good moment because we don't have a subject yet. We're going to be searching for a subject. So we've got Wendy, we've got Avis, we've got Loretta, we've got Ellen, we've got Saeed. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel. And?
Kizzy. Kizzy.
What did he say?
Kizzy. Kizzy.
Kizzy.
Yeah.
Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. We don't have a subject yet. Has anyone got a subject they want to start off with? Anything they want to kick off with? Saeed, have you got anything you want to jump in with? Daniel, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm sure they'll all want to talk about the football.
Do you want to talk about football, Loretta?
Well, yeah, I think...
What do you want to say about football?
Well, I'm not normally that interested, but when it's the World Cup, everyone sort of getting the spirit of things, aren't they? Especially if
what is it about the World Cup that makes it special?
I think everybody wants to support the country and support their team.
Everyone gets together. Do you agree with that? Is the World Cup like a special occasion when even people not interested in football somehow get sucked into it? Do you agree? You're not. You're shaking your head.
No.
You're not interested in it at all?
I just moved back, so.
I mean, when the World Cup comes, come and get involved in this. Have you got a view about the World Cup? Is it something that everyone should have to watch, or should it be voluntary? Come and sit down. Wendy, what do you think? World Cup.
I think who likes it should watch it. I'm not a lover of football. I love cricket.
Yeah, so but I mean, when the football's
football, I don't look at it.
You don't get it.
I don't like football.
Yeah, okay.
I love cricket.
Okay.
That's what I look at.
And what team do you support in the cricket?
The West Indians.
Okay, how are they doing?
West Indies.
How are they doing?
Or Pakistan.
Okay. You support West Indies or Pakistan in the cricket, but football, no, there's not. Football is not universally loved. Yeah.
The football's coming home.
What does that mean?
England's going to win the World Cup.
You think England's going to win? I mean, what do you think? There's a few people around the table that are not that interested in football. What do you think about that? I mean, how can you sort of get them more interested, more involved?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Saeed, are you interested in football? Come and sit down. What do you think? Football, cricket? Okay, come and get involved in this. What do you think? Saeed, what's your view on the World Cup?
I think that England's going to win the World Cup too.
Okay. And what effect is that going to have on the country? Are people going to be happy or?
Oh yeah, people are going to be happy whoever lives in England.
Yeah, okay. Give us a final thought, Daniel, before you go, or an initial thought. You didn't say anything yet. Give us a final thought. What's your final thought on the World Cup and football? Football or cricket, what's better?
Football.
Why?
Because it's like a year where people get to enjoy
what's that?
a sport. It's a year where people get to enjoy a sport.
Okay, it's a very enjoyable sport. Okay, come and sit down as well. Come on, yes, you can do it. We've got We've got Wendy, we've got Avis, we've got Loretta. What's your name?
Charlene.
What's it?
Charlene.
Charlene, and we've got Ellen, we've got Lawrence. My name's Mikey. Remember, we're talking about football. We've got some people are not. You're not really a supporter of football, but you're getting into the spirit of it. On this side, they're failing to understand what it's even about. These 22 guys on a pitch just running around after a bladder of air. They just don't get it at all.
I think it depends on your household. Like for us, we've got quite a lot of men, and you can't escape it. You can't really escape
Why is it that the men get more excited about football? What is football doing to men? It could be a good question.
I hadn't thought about that, but give them something to do and to think about.
Okay, finally gives them something to think about. What do you think? What do you think about this? Is football something that men are interested in? Why is it such a boy thing or a man thing? Football. Why have they got so excited about the World Cup? Have a seat. What do you think about this? I mean, surely you must have seen this excitement. Why are men getting so excited about this?
They can kick the ball around.
Yeah.
Before kicking something else.
Okay, so they want to kick something around, basically. Have you got a view on it? Why they're getting so excited?
Yeah, it's a team thing.
Okay, so it's about being together as a team. We got a new face. What's your name?
Guillermo.
What's it?
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Yeah, I'll agree with her and say it's a team thing as well.
Okay, so it's about getting together as a team. We've got a couple of new faces here. What's your name?
Maria.
And?
Ukasha.
What's it?
Ukasha.
Ukasha. Are you interested in football? What is it that makes football so exciting? Why is it that it's boys and men get together? What is making them get so excited about this World Cup? Maya, have you got a view on that? Do you think? Have you seen?
Because men playing football mostly, that's why men interested. Maybe one day they can be like a football player. That's why.
Okay, so it's that dream of being the football player. They see themselves as being in the World Cup semi-final. Come and get involved in this. What's your name?
Felipe.
What's that?
Felipe.
Felipe.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're sort of talking about. Now, Loretta's in a household where she's getting excited about the football because all the men and the boys in her house are getting excited and they don't get excited about other things. I mean, what sort of things should they be getting excited about, do you think?
Well, probably more like family events.
Yeah. So they're not as excited about family, but they're excited about their team. So what's going on there? Why are boys and men so excited about football?
Maybe teamwork.
It's about being in a team.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree with this point that it's like, I think, who was it? Was it you that made it, Maya? That it's about you see yourself as you could potentially be in the World Cup final.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Any views over here? Are you getting excited about football?
You know what? I'm actually less excited this World Cup. Normally I'm really into it, but this time I'm not so into it.
Why? What's happened?
I don't know. I think there's just a number of reasons why I'm just not feeling it. But you know, I just think that it's just a bunch of like masculine men running around, and I think that's the reason why it will appeal to men more than women.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if there's an attractive team, then I'm definitely going to choose.
Is it? Yeah.
About the review, I'm really disappointed about England.
Yeah. Why?
Because, you know, France or Belgium, they're better. That's why.
So
I don't want to sound rude, but
you think that France and Belgium are actually better than England? So it's this.
Rude, yeah. I don't want to sound rude, but I don't want to sound rude, but this is what I have seen.
Yeah. And I get the feeling from Ellen that this crop of footballers, they're not exciting enough for the women. They're not. Maybe the previous generation, the previous team, held more excitement. And this generation, maybe they're all a little bit. You know, they might be good footballers, but they haven't got the charm.
And got more stamina.
Okay, so they're younger, but maybe that means they're not as interesting for the ladies. I don't know. What do you think about this crop of footballers?
Well, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying watching my son get excited.
Okay, so it's more about the children get excited. Are you interested in the football?
Because I think England will win.
You think England will win? What about Belgium and France? Are they
France.
better?
Belgium.
But is Belgium better than England?
Both.
They're both just as good. Come and get involved in this. Basically, we're trying to unpick the mystery of why men get so excited about football when they don't get excited about very much else. And what is it? What's going on? Why are they so excited about football? And
The men, they are so into football because they are nationalists. That's why.
You think it's about nationalism? Okay. Do you agree with that? Is it about the nation?
I would say, yeah. It's about the nation.
Yeah. Okay. Felipe, what do you think about this?
I get excited playing football, like when there's a lot of people, friends, doing competition and stuff, like getting some teamwork and stuff.
Okay. Why are men getting so excited about football? That's the question that women are asking. What's your name?
Esme.
I can't hear you. You're going to have to speak up a little bit.
You have to talk louder.
What's it?
My name is Emily.
Yeah, and what's her name?
Esme.
What was it?
Esme.
Esme. Okay. Do you like football?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think Belgium will win.
You think Belgium are going to win? Okay, interesting. Okay, so where do we want to go with this? Come and get involved in this. Why are men getting so excited about football? Come and give us a view. Give us the male view. Come on. Let's give him a round of applause. Still didn't work. Yeah.
Is there a ladies World Cup? I mean, is anyone actually going to tune into that?
Well, I mean, anyone on the Ladies World Cup? I don't know. Maybe we should move on to another subject because we've got Loretta and what's it?
Charlene.
Charlene is. They're not that interested in football per se. It's more that their children, their partners are more interested in football. So maybe we should move on to. We could talk about cricket. We could talk about a different subject altogether. Well, I mean, where do we want to go with this? What do we want to talk to? We talk about this sense of group excitement.
I think a lot of the excitement is seeing their country get so far.
Yeah.
People get caught up in that.
It's about the country.
Pride of country.
Yeah. Is that a good thing, do you think?
Yeah, sometimes. A lot of times, yeah.
So in this case, it is a good thing because I think Mona mentioned a kind of nationalism, but is it a kind of good nationalism in a way?
Is there a kind of what?
She said nationalism. Is it kind of nationalism in a way?
Yeah, I think so. But that's understandable. That's normal.
Okay, so it's in a way it's a. What do you think about the nationalist side? Is it a kind of nationalism?
Definitely, because I don't know if you've been watching it, but each time England wins, there's like everybody's happy, and like friends are texting to say they can't watch the penalty shootout, and then when England won, it was like, way. So
there's a sense of there's a collective buzz. It's a happy buzz. I was actually talking to the policeman in the queue for the Thai curry, and he was like, "Oh, it's so much easier now to do my job because everyone's happy and they're in a better mood." So why are we so concerned about our country? Oh, hello. Yes, I do. But you had a different hairstyle last year. Okay, so I can't help notice.
He's speechless.
No, the last time you didn't have this T-shirt.
I know.
Okay, so we have got Loretta, we've got Charlene, we've got Ellen, we've got Lawrence, we've got Mona on the phone, we have got Wendy and Avis. Come and join in because I don't know if it's just the teacher, but this might actually be our mayor here, the mayor of Newham. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Tell us your name.
My name's Roxana and I'm the new mayor of Newham.
Okay. You got a round of applause for Madam. Come on, let's have a bit more of a round of applause. Okay, right now, actually, it's funny because you come and sat down when we're talking about the World Cup, and this just sense of buzz and fun and excitement, especially amongst men. But earlier on, we were talking about all these. You missed out on all the things everyone was, was talking about. Newham Council and community, and what else was it?
I think it was like affordable housing, like happiness. A lot of people are happy here, but at the same time, people are concerned about like affordable housing. Market rates, food banks, all those kind of things.
But you've missed all of that anyway. So we're talking about the World Cup now. Unless we've got a chance actually to ask some questions. Are you from Newham, Loretta?
No, my daughter lives.
Okay. So we've got a chance. We've got the mayor here. Do we want to ask her any questions, or do we want to ask her about the World Cup? It's kind of up to you. Have you been following the World Cup?
I have been when I've had time. I think the fact that we got through the quarter-final has been awesome and amazing, and I think the spirit and the energy that has led to is very similar to what we experienced here in Newham during the Olympic Games.
Oh yeah.
But also, I just wanted to address some of the points raised. In terms of some of the earlier conversations, I absolutely agree that we are in the midst of a raging housing crisis. I've made a series of pledges around housing. Housing is going to be my number one priority. We're going to need to embark on a significant house building programme driven by the council so that they are genuinely affordable. And I've pledged to make sure that there's at least 1,000 council-owned homes at social rent levels, but that's not going to be enough. We're going to have to challenge the government. We're going to need to amend the right to buy, and we're going to need to allow councils to borrow money so that we can actually build homes that our people can afford.
So you need to get your hands on the finance in a way. Any questions about that?
One of the main issues is that because they're building houses, and I think it's all across London really, they are building new houses, but with the affordable ones, the score, it's 80% of market rate, and it's just a case of how do we bring down that percentage, because as we've discovered, you got nurses, doctors, teachers, they're all 50% of their income goes on housing, and they're having to rely on food banks, many of them, to survive. So it doesn't really feel right. And how can we sort of reduce that affordable percentage of market rate, reduce that 80% basically.
Okay, there's a question there. You had a question as well, Gillian, did you?
Well, it's really important, I think, that people that are already in the borough, that support the borough, also, obviously you've got different spectrums of people within the borough, but also those that need to move within the borough. It's very difficult to move within the borough from, say, a 2-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom house. It's really difficult.
Okay, so how do you actually move? How do you get a bigger place? How do you move up? Once you've got your place, you've got it, but you can't actually expand. Okay, so there's a couple of questions there.
I think in a substantive way we've got to challenge developers. So one of the other pledges that I've made is that for the next 4 years, every single home that's built in Newham, be it council-led or private developer, has to be at 50% social rent levels. It's a huge ask, it's a huge ambition, but if we cannot start the conversation and push back on developers now, I don't know where else we can. I absolutely agree with you. 80% of market rent is simply not affordable for Londoners anymore, particularly in the context of the average salary in Newham being circa £25,000. I think through our own local plan, we need to ensure that the houses that are built are fit for purpose and of the sizes that our population actually needs. So yes, there are a significant number of house developments that are essentially just appropriate for a couple. They're 1-bedroom units or 2-bedroom units. I think we need to actually, and it is actually reflected in our local plan, we need to have more family-sized homes. We've got one of the youngest we've got the youngest population of any local authority in the whole of the UK. In the next 20 years, we're going to have more young people than we are going to have older people, and we need to rethink and shift our conversation with residents about the types of homes they need. Some families are living in homes that are too big for them really, and we need to begin to have a better conversation with them, recalibrate our range of housing units that are available for our residents that have grown up in the borough.
Right, we've got a couple of new faces at the table, so we've got Loretta, we got Celine, we have got Mona.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm her minder for the day.
You're the minder?
I am
What
the
does that
minder. That's
involve?
part of my role. But it's about ensuring that she gets to see all the wonderful people that have come to the Newham show.
Yeah.
That they get to talk to her, they get to take a picture with her. So she will come back at some point.
Hang on a sec, because if you know Talkaoke, you know it's customary to get final thoughts. And I should just also say, point out to a couple of people here, you're lucky enough to sit down when we've got Roxana, our mayor, here. So maybe if you want to just squeeze in that shoehorn in a very, very quick question, you can. But let me get a final thought from Roxana. Oh, I guess there's a quick question here.
Hello.
Oh, hello. It's just a hello. Yeah.
Okay, look, we are going to be fundamentally changing the way in which we run the council. We want to, and we will be listening to your voice. We're going to be introducing citizen assemblies across all of our neighbourhoods where you will be in a position to make decisions around placemaking, how we allocate budgets, and that process is going to start midsummer. And in your neighbourhood, regardless of where you live in Newham, you will have a chance to determine how budgets are spent for your neighbourhood.
Yeah.
I absolutely hear everyone's concerns about housing, and I need you to help me drive that with developers and push back on developers as well.
How do we help people?
What do you mean, how we...
Well, you said you need people to help you. What does that mean?
So, come to participate and be involved in your citizen assembly that will be taking place in your neighbourhood. Demand that from your local councillors. Step in, step up, work with us in partnership, because we are all here to improve Newham for everyone.
We've got one very, very quick question.
For us to be able to do something like that, you need to listen to us. I've been to a recent meeting recently where none of the councillors actually wanted to take on board what we were talking about. They didn't want to listen. They wanted to get rid of us. Why is that? This was the Plaistow North. I'm sure, Plaistow North.
When was this?
This was a couple of days ago.
Oh, right, okay.
Just a couple of days ago. And I've actually got videos of how these councillors treated us. I mean, we voted you in, we've entrusted you with our votes.
And you feel they're not being listened to enough?
No, we haven't been listened to, and I'm quite disappointed because Labour's not like that. I know a lot of Labour councillors that do listen and do take on board what the the citizens around us.
So more listening and more understanding.
More listening, more understanding, and working with us.
Okay. Oh come to you.
Can I just say in response to that? Okay, so I stood on a platform that people are at the heart of everything that we do. I'm disappointed, and I will personally apologise that was your experience with 3 of my councillors. Outside of this conversation, could you kindly send me an email and send me the video? Because then I can report it and I can have a stern conversation with them, because I have told councillors that, you know what, don't grapple for positions in the council. The thing that's going to really impress me is the transformation that you demonstrate in your wards, and you have got to show that you are listening to people. So I'm really sorry that was your experience.
Come and sit down around the table and get involved in this conversation. You need to go, don't you? Yeah. Okay, there's a point over here, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to say that sometimes we people, we feel like sometimes council tax or benefits or whatever looks like they want to ignore you and not to help you, because sometimes you are struggling applying, you need to fill up some forms, but nobody's helping you until you struggle, and somebody might help you, or you need to ask someone's help from different place.
But it's about how to find that.
So in my situation was until somebody from council really helped me, but that was struggling.
Okay, so it's maybe about I think all these questions about the interface between how the council works and the people and their problems and how they deal with it.
I absolutely hear what you're saying. The reason why I put people at the heart of everything that we do as a cornerstone of the new administration is because for too long the council has thought it knows what's best. It hasn't communicated efficiently, effectively, or with empathy with our residents, and that is going to change. That's my promise to you. Okay?
Okay, well, I mean, there's some interesting points Okay, thanks for. I mean, if you come back later on, let's give Roxanne a round of applause. And what's your name, first of all?
Rashid Ahmed.
What is it?
Rashid.
Rashid. Yeah. Okay. What was your question or
question about I saw her manifesto about the homeless people. She's
okay.
If she is elected, then she taking a step for the homeless people. So my question is, what step she taking right now, and what step for the middle class people who cannot afford for getting a private tenant, private landlord.
Yeah.
So. Getting the house from the private landlord because of the high price rent.
We were talking about that earlier on and how expensive it is if you're renting privately. Well, it looks like there's a whole hustle bustle of around the mayor. But stay involved in this conversation because we are going to report back. Okay, but I mean, I do think there is another point as well, which is also, I think, about. You know, communication is a two-way thing as well, and it's also about finding out what the council's got to say, what other people have got to say, and it's not, in a way, making the point is half of it, but listening to the reply and having the conversation.
I kind of worry about what, the councillor, the mayor was saying, because earlier one of the councillors said that, at the local level, they really don't have any power to sort of make much changes in terms of reducing the affordable kind of rate.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, is the mayor making like false promises there?
Well, I mean, I don't know enough about it. I don't know how but I think this is the thing. No one really knows how this kind of like complicated legislation actually works. And we've heard these things that this can't be changed, that can't be changed because it's controlled by the government. Anyway, now we've lost most of our audience, so maybe it's time to go back to talking about the World Cup, or maybe the cricket, because we've only got cricket supporters left. Where are we going to go with this? Avis, Wendy, Mona, Ellen, where are we going to go with this conversation?
What was I going to say again about the sort of mayor and everything going on there?
Yeah.
I kind of forgot actually, but I'm actually going to make some origami now. I don't know if that links in, but
maybe it's about creativity.
Yeah, exactly. It's about like creativity, kind of things like that. But I still think it's really good that she sat down. Every year she's come, even before she became mayor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like you could see that this was one of the stop-off points. So it's clearly a good platform to sort of like engage. It's like a different kind of approach, really. So.
Okay, you look like you're just about to leave. Let me get a final thought from you before you go. On any of the subjects, the World Cup, the cricket, the mayor, the housing. Have you got a final thought on any of those subjects?
I don't.
You don't? Nothing at all? No.
Well, I have to say, really, I've been sitting listening because I'm transitioning from the States here. It's my mother.
Yeah.
So I'm not really familiar with all the issues.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhat protected from some of it because I don't have to deal with housing.
Yeah.
I live with my mom. So I'm just absorbing different things until I can, form my own opinion on everything.
I mean, it's kind of. But what I'll take from that is this point about listening, because I do think it's so important to actually hear what people have got to say, and it might not be your issue, but you've sat and listened to what other people have said, and I think that's so important just to find out about people. Come and sit down. Come and get involved in this. We have got Ellen, we've got Mona, we've got Wendy, we've got Avis, and Mikey. What's your name?
Anwar Farooq.
Anwar. Anwar.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Avis. Thank you, Wendy. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We talked about a number of different things today. We've talked about housing. We've talked about happiness. We've talked about.
We talk about football.
Football. There's not that many people around the table right now. Well, we've got. What's your name?
Rick.
We've got Rick. Is there anything, Anwar, you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I have two things.
Yeah.
Number one is the bottlenecking of the side roads with the main road.
Okay.
At the entrances,
Yeah.
the resident parking permit is given. So
Yeah.
residents are parking at the very starting of the roads,
Yeah.
side roads.
Yeah.
So as a result, going into the street or coming out of the street
It's
is
hard
becoming very big
Yeah.
trouble. And actually that permits, resident permits or whatever permits are there, in the beginning of the roads, they should be removed. And they
Right.
can be relocated some other place,
Right.
but not at the starting, because now population is too much,
Yeah.
traffic problems are there.
Let me just get these. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We've got Anwar, we've got Mona, we've got Rick. What's your names? What's your name?
Norman.
No, come and have a seat. Come on, you can do it. Yeah. Let's give them a round of applause.
Actually, the next point I would like to talk about the youngsters, teenagers. So that's why you can also correct me if I'm wrong, or you can participate. Okay?
Okay, what's your point about teenagers?
About teenagers,
Yeah.
generally means I cannot generalize everybody.
Yeah.
But some people, due to academization of the schools or whatever, or some people are just removed from the schools because of some reason or other, like managed movement of these children.
Yeah.
If they are not well, they are just removed from the schools. As a result, they are just going out of the school, and they are causing trouble and getting themselves also in trouble.
Okay.
And some teenagers, they are just killing their time because there is no proper guidance or support from the home or from the schools.
Okay.
So we need to guide, and what is we can just have Newham to have some hubs for teenagers to show them the future opportunities and what they can do.
Okay, so we're talking about. I mean, it's only certain. You're saying it's only certain teenagers in a way. It's not all teenagers, but we're not really. Somehow we're letting those teenagers down. Come and join in this, Ramon, as well. So we're talking about the young people. Certainly the ones getting excluded from school, and then they're left to roam the streets. So let me just quickly get some names. So we've got Elam over here. What's your name?
Sadia.
And
I don't want to say.
And
Norman.
And Nami and Ramon and Anwar. So what do you think about are we letting down those teenagers that get excluded? Is it their fault that they get chucked out of school? And what are we letting those particular kids down? And are they kind of in a way causing a problem for all people of that age because they give teenagers a bad reputation? Any thoughts on this? Have you had people excluded from your school? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happens to those people?
They either get sent to a different school or they're put into a youth centre.
Okay. Is it the right response? You don't think so? Okay. No, what do you think?
I think it's to do with their actions and the people who surround them and stuff. So if they do an action based on like the people that surround them, then it's not necessarily their fault.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the bunch they get into. Ramon, have you got a view on this?
I would kind of say it's to do with like the household that people live in.
Yeah.
You're only a reflection or like a product of your environment, if you will. Like you make a decision based on what you've gone through. If you're being taught to do wrong and in your eyes you see it's right, you're going to end up doing that multiple times.
But is there anything you can do for those kind of kids that are in those kind of... Because obviously you can't just say, right, we're going to give you... Well, you probably could, but it's extreme to say we're going to give you a different family.
No.
So, I mean, what can you do to help those people, to put them on the right track?
Like, go do something constructive. Whatever it is that you're good at, regardless of what talent it is your own.
So get them to do something constructive, whatever that might be. Do you think that's a good idea? If you could somehow get those disruptive people to be constructive, that would solve the problem? What do you think? Do you get what I'm saying? What do you think? Do you get what I'm saying, at least?
Yeah.
You do get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about this side?
I mean, yesterday we were talking a lot about like creativity and like problem solving, and how at the core of creativity is problem solving.
Yeah.
So whether that's like mathematics or art or plumbing or whatever, once you problem solve, you feel a sense of achievement, and that really brings confidence. And I think a lot of people, I'm judging from what you're talking about, like disruptive pupils and stuff, you know, they just don't feel confident and they don't feel like they can achieve anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a case of like giving them small tasks.
So giving them things to do that actually they can achieve, they can solve a problem, and then you boost your confidence when you can solve problems.
When I talk to teenagers, each one of you, do you like something, right? So what do you like first of all?
Okay, well,
I want to say something to them.
I need to pass the mic around. I mean, we've heard it before, but let's hear it again. What kind of things do you like?
I'm into music, and I want to be a businessman in it. So that's me.
Okay.
I'm into art and sports and probably music as well.
Okay.
I like drawing.
Drawing. Okay, fantastic. Yeah.
Music and art.
Okay. So very, very creative people really around the table.
I just want to say that in life, people will put you down. So if you believe you are good, just go for it. If you're not sure you're good in whatever you're doing, just ask someone professional, and then you will boost your confidence as well. So because people, they're really mean in these days. Even if you're good, people will put you down.
Right.
So just to make sure you're not shy and you perform public, just make sure you are good by asking someone professional.
But Mona,
if you don't trust
I've
in
got a
yourself.
question based on that. What about if you're too shy to ask a professional person?
If you're too shy, then you'll never know how good you are.
But I mean, how do you get the confidence to ask the person? You know,
you need to have that.
Just do it. Just push
just
yourself.
do it. Just do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if you are shy to ask, at least now you have done very good thing that you have come in this Newham town show. You can just attend and see various stalls and see what interests you and how you can support your life in those things. Okay?
Yeah.
And also,
I mean, it's not necessarily that this group is particularly shy. I was more asking in my. So when I was a teenager, I was very shy. So I was too shy to ask the professionals. Do you ever ask the professionals for advice in terms of art or music? No. You like drawing, but have you ever asked a professional?
No.
Would you ask a person to help you with your drawing? You haven't really thought about it?
No, I really haven't, because I taught myself how to draw.
What's that?
I taught myself how to draw.
So you do it yourself, you're not... But, okay, would you ask a professional?
If I had the chance to, then maybe
So it's about having the chance, having the exposure.
Actually, nowadays, even though you are not able to meet some professional, Google, some people say, Google uncle, I will ask. So Google and search engines, you can just put. And in YouTube also, you can just see what are the opportunities in music, what are the job opportunities, careers, how you can develop, or what are the other things.
So you think
highly demanded skills you can try.
So you're saying Google is the professional that you can ask. It's in a way, it's like having a professional on the end of a phone or on the end of an email.
The word professional keyword and then advice.
Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about teenagers. Yes, thank you, Anwar. What do you think about?
I never ever ask people. Like, for example, I'm not into art. If you ask me, maybe I say it's good. But if you ask a professional who knows art,
what are you into?
He gives you the right opinion and whatever. So don't ask regular people.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. At the moment, we're talking about this problem of excluded kids, excluded teenagers from school. Are we failing those kids? Have a seat. You can leave at any time. Don't worry. You're not committing yourself. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. But sit down for a second. So we have got Mona. What's your name?
Mark.
And
Anwar.
And
Sam.
And
Norman.
Was it?
Norman.
And Norman, of course, yeah.
Fateo.
And
Sadia.
That's right, yeah. And at the moment we're talking about, it's quite an interesting idea because Anwar was saying that he thinks that teenagers that are excluded are actually being failed by the system. And then you were saying, well, actually, if we can get these teenagers to be more creative, more constructive, then actually they will start to gain confidence and they will start to actually do positive things instead of negative things. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's the right approach? And how do you get someone to actually have confidence in their creativity? That's what we're talking about at the moment.
Got to kind of work with them on a one-to-one basis. Find out why. Well, if there's any problems at school, problems at home, it's going to be a problem somewhere. So it's kind of get into the grassroots of that, and then obviously trying to help them out that way, really. Because
I mean, do you think that these kids, they don't get enough one-to-one attention?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. It sounds bad to say learn. People have different ways of learning. Yeah. And you know, if they're finding it hard to learn the normal way, they might get frustrated.
Okay, come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. We're talking about the youth. Especially those ones that are excluded from school. I'm not going to do the names. What's your name?
David.
Do you agree with this that there's quite often when you've got problematic kids, the reason why is because they're not getting enough attention. They've not got a creative outlet. Do you agree with that, or do you think there's other reasons?
I do not agree.
You don't know?
No, I don't agree.
Oh, you don't agree? Why?
Because it's not only about it's not only about attention seeking and whatnot, but it's actually also about background and where they come from, because it depends on what life they're actually living. Yeah. So it's not actually because of attention.
So you think it's more like family and stuff like that?
It's not about family, but it's about background. So the area they live in.
Let me get a final thought, Name, from you.
Sometimes kids in my school, they act like disruptive and stuff, because they want to be known more, and have more friends and stuff. But sometimes it's also to do with where they come from and stuff, as he said. So
Okay.
Sometimes I think the children act like that because they have ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and that they can't just control how they act. They act hyper. They can't
pay attention. So it's a lack of control in a way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do you gain control? How do you get more control?
Well, you just have to be supportive and do what you want.
People get that. Do you think the creative direction is a way to get more control, more self-control?
Yeah.
Okay. In a word, yes. Okay. Has that answered your question, Anwar?
No, actually, in order to make many opportunities known to them, and also we can just start some teenage talent banks.
So you think we should have teenage talent banks?
And we can just advertise saying that whoever wants to use their talent in community service and vocational training, apprenticeship and all, they can just give in different fields of interest, and whenever opportunity comes, we can also tell them, so that way they also feel they are valued and their talent is recognized.
So it's about having a sense of value as well, in a sense. Okay. Value the kids.
The teenagers, everyone is special and unique, and they should be made valued, and they are the future citizens of the world, and the future citizens should be strong and emotionally intelligent.
Just give us a couple of minutes. At the moment we're talking about the youth, especially the young people that may be getting excluded from school. What's the answer to it? Anwar is essentially saying we need to value those people, value what's actually the things that they have got, the skills they have got. Yeah.
And the youths, they should value the education also, because without education you can be nothing and you can do nothing.
Okay. But I mean, sometimes if those kids are being disruptive, it spoils it for everyone else. So we got Mona, we got Anwar. What's your name?
My name's Zain.
And
Iman.
Iman?
Yes.
Iman, sorry. And Ain?
Zain.
Okay, so we basically started talking about kids that get excluded from school. What's the answer? Is it more creativity? Is there anything really you can do when they come from a difficult background? Anwar's talking about valuing those kids more and giving them a sense of, you know, being a worthwhile person. What is the answer? And how do you value somebody when they're being so disruptive and difficult?
Well, I think when a child is disruptive and getting into trouble, there must be a reason behind this child, and sometimes you've got to look at the bigger picture, why the child is getting into trouble. I mean, there could be loads of problems they're facing, you know, at home, bullying, and usually people who are getting bullied, who are bullying people, they're usually getting bullied, you see. So I really think we need to work with the youth, engage them more, engaging in terms of real engagement, not just like, I've heard this engagement as I grew up, and I myself hadn't found no engagement. Like people, I had loads of friends with me, they went one path, I went to another path, and luckily I had better guidance from my family and friends and so forth. But my friends who needed support, who didn't have maybe these guardians around them, they didn't get the support. And one of the reasons I think is they were so disengaged with the youth.
I mean, what's real engagement? Because you said we've got to engage people in a real way. What's the difference between a kind of maybe like a token engagement and a real engagement?
Well, first of all, we've got to sit the youth down. We've got to ask them. We have to engage with them. We have to ask them what they need, and also basic things like extra help when it comes to schoolwork. Maybe extra time when they're trying to hand in their homework. Even some kids that are dyslexic, they're not even recognized in the beginning. After 3, 4, 5 years, after they've been through the system, they've recognized. So we need to identify. We can't blanketly say what. So we can't blanketly say this kids need this kids. All kids need something.
I mean, it's interesting. We had somebody on here before. Remember over here, who was kind of saying a lot of the time these kids need a one-to-one involvement. They need to actually talk to one person and get them to understand what's going on. We've got a new face over here. What's your name?
Abiha.
What's it?
Abiha.
Abina.
Abiha.
Abiha. Okay, come and sit down. I'll just come to you in a second, Anwar.
I would like to say also that some kids, maybe not many, but some, they're not going to schools maybe, or they don't want to, or they don't want to go because of the bullying. This is also a big problem. I remember when I was young and I was at school, I had the same problem, and I didn't want to go to school because I didn't like it because of that. So some kids, they don't like going to school because of that reason.
So how do we eradicate bullying?
How do we eradicate? What do you mean eradicate?
Well, just get rid of it. Get rid of the bullying.
Get rid of it. Like the teachers and the security, they should pay attention to kids who try to do bullying or whatever. Any single thing that is kind of bullying.
So kind of like a zero tolerance to bullying.
Yes.
All right. Okay, come and sit down as well. Come and get involved in this. We have got is it Iman? Iman, we've got Zain, we've got Anwar, we've got Mona, and we've got Abina. Come and sit down, come and get involved in this. We're talking about bullying at the moment. How do you get rid of bullying? That's what we're talking about. You don't know?
Well, another thing I do want to mention about the education system as well. I think academies haven't helped much in terms of stabilizing behaviors. I mean, if you see some of the academies, what they've done is they've singled out some of the children that have had this disproportionate representation. So these kids are sidelined, and I think after academies do form in schools, a lot of children are being neglected.
I mean, I think that was the
a lot of children are being neglected, definitely. And if we do really want children to be more engaged, I think also the government, locally government-run schools and central government-run schools are more important, and it's much more. But come to bullying, I definitely think from the start we need to identify who the bullies are and also who are getting bullied. And we need to show a zero tolerance.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got a new face at the table. I just think, hang on a sec, Anwar. What's your name?
Dominic.
Dominic, at the moment we're talking about kids that are getting excluded from school. Are we failing those kids? Why are they being so disruptive? Do they need a creative outlet? Do they need a one-to-one kind of attention? Is it the academies that just want to get on with the brighter kids and don't want to deal with the problem? And in that case, are we failing those kids? How do we get rid of bullying? That's some of the questions we're talking about at the moment. Mona?
Sorry for interrupting you. I just want to mention one thing.
Give us a final thought before you go. Sorry.
And I really want that to be like a call out, I can say.
Yeah.
It should be zero tolerance to any constitute.
Yeah.
Any constitute, especially in youths.
In what?
Youths, especially the youths.
Oh, the youth, yeah.
Youths, yeah. Especially like school or whatever.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying that? Because the bullying can affect the personality in the future.
Okay.
They're losing their confidence.
Yeah.
They are not feeling enough strong for life.
Bullying can have a huge effect, and it can go all the way through into adulthood. It can affect your confidence. So we need to be very strong on bullying. Zero tolerance, says Mona.
Zero tolerance is very important, and it is nothing but enforcing or implementing the British values, respecting equality and all these things without any troubling anybody. And this the youth are very innovative, and in addition to innovation, now the internet also is helping them in bullying, cyberbullying and all these things. So even though you take one action, they will think of another action.
Right.
That is why the main thing is the parents also should tell them to respect the British values, and also because parents are not so easily accessible or what due to any reason. That's why what I think is just like a talent pool of teenagers, there should be talent pool of parents, because parents in the house may not be telling, but
so
all
parents should help each other.
Parents should come and then go to the teenage hubs and then tell them about their experience or what their expectations.
Okay. I'm going to come to you in a second, Zane. Have you got anything to say about bullying, Dominic? What's that?
Well, the schools are actually spoiling us a lot.
You think so?
Yeah, because a lot of letters have been out that children in Newham have become obese, and they've just introduced the Daily Mile.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a fitness issue there as well. Okay, Zane, what was your point?
Now, I'm just about to leave now, so I just want to make a final point. I think there's different forms of bullying now. You've got bullying on race, you've got bullying on religion now, and all these new things have come into now. So there's a lot of Islamophobia sometimes in secondary schools, and also bullying in terms of race and gender and background and all sorts. So I think from the beginning, a precedent needs to be set that we will not tolerate any form of bullying, and those bullies will definitely be frightened away from bullying people. But I just want to come back to this as well. The bullies who are bullying also, they also need help.
So it's a kind of chain, a kind of chain reaction in a way.
Yeah, we definitely need to sit down and find out sometimes what the problem is. And I totally agree with one point that you mentioned. I think a one-to-one approach is very, very important. I'd like to end on that, but thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay, so,
And also racism should be zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance to racism.
Also racism, yes.
Do you think we've kind of let it slip on racism a little bit, and we've kind of allowed racism in, or the racism problem's getting worse?
Okay, so you're saying that, sorry, I didn't get the question.
Have we kind of, which I mean, in terms of racism, are we actually kind of being more tolerant of racism in a way?
Tolerant, because they're not doing nothing much, and probably that's why people keep up.
Right, so it's a more slight thing,
So we should do something more. I mean the government or something, or police, whatever.
Okay, so we're talking about bullying, we're talking,
I think that the whole racism thing, it sort of comes back to what the point I made earlier in the day about, you know, people just not being taught the reason why there's all these foreigners around, you know what I mean? So unless you sort of inform people why there's all these new people coming in, then there's going to be the hostility.
Okay, so it's about maybe information and knowledge.
Especially in a climate where, like, you know, people can't afford to pay rent, you know, there's not jobs for people, you know, people are feeling really stressed and anxious, so that is one of the reasons why there is all this racism and stuff, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dominic, what do you want to talk about? Racism, bullying? Where do you want to take this conversation?
Well, racism actually has improved a lot since
You think
Nelson
racism's
Mandela.
got better?
Yeah, so it's an even country now, and the US, but there's still a lot of people making racist jokes on the internet about other people, and that's an issue for the police and other people.
It's about what, sorry?
It's an issue for the community that has to listen to those people, to the internet.
I mean, does it come into bullying a lot, do you think, as well? Are these two connected?
Well, the people that are from the other race think they have more power than them, so they take advantage.
So it can sometimes, we could say, okay. Is it?
Oh, do you want to swap?
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time because not that I'm, you know, we stay there, Dominic. But we're gonna have just a change of personnel because it's hot, and this is the hot seat. It's getting very, very hot at the moment in the hot seat. So we maybe need to just swap around for now. Plus, it's getting very, very loud in here as well. And you know, with my old ears, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on. But Dominic, what would you like to talk about? Do you want to carry on the subject about racism? Do you want to talk about something else? Do you want to talk about bullying? Do you want to talk about school? Do you want to talk about I don't know. It could be anything. Talk about anything. What do you want to talk about?
Not really. There's no big issue yet about anything. Just bullying is the main problem.
What's that?
Bullying is the main problem.
Bullying is a big problem. Okay. I mean, I think one of the come and have a seat on the table of chat. Come on, give us a couple of minutes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We're going to be closing up soon, so what's that?
Could I leave? Because my mom's probably worried sick about me by now.
What's that?
My mom's probably worried sick about me now. Yeah.
Okay, give us a final thought.
Well, not really. I just came here like in the middle of talking. I don't.
Just
know.
a little break from that. Have you heard any interesting points?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay, maybe we've got to find something more interesting. Thanks for getting involved, Dominic. What's that?
At least he was honest.
He was honest. I think kids can be quite honest sometimes.
Okay, so, wow, why not come and have a seat? I really like your outfit, that's lovely. Where did you get that from, by the way? One of my friends was looking for something just like that. Where did you get it from? It's very pretty. Are you her mum? Where did you get her outfit from?
The high street.
Which one? Which high street? I'm not from around here, so I don't really know.
Okay, it's East Ham, so I'm local.
Okay. Come on, grab a seat. Come on, give us a couple of seconds of your time. Anyway. Hey, how's it going?
Fine.
What's your name?
Ramaya.
It seems like pink is such a popular theme today. Like everyone's in a shade of pink. You've got pink. You've got a shade of pink. That's pink. This is pink. I kind of feel a little bit. I feel like the only one out.
You're sitting on a pink chair in a pink table, but the pink is definitely the thing, and I'm really pleased that we've gone for pink in terms of the table design. But we need to get some pink chairs, though, really.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe pink might put men off. You know, I mean, I still think pink is quite.
Well, the pink will attract the females, and then the females will attract the men. So it will work in the end.
That's kind of a good plan. You know, why don't we start? Oh, hey, how's it going? I think I remember you from. Remind me of your name again. Hey, I can't name you from back there. Fair enough. Let's get around to names anyway. Oh, what's your name in there? I'll come back to you.
It's my friend Nafisa.
Oh, is this your friend? Oh, perfect.
Nafisa. You know my name.
What's your name?
Ramaya.
Mikey. Rick.
And this is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show. You know what? You've joined us at a really good time because
We have spoken about so many things today. Like it's unbelievable. The topics we've covered. Hey, how's it going? She's been so good. She's clearly a talker. Come and sit down, join in. Just make me look busy. You know what I mean? I'm looking a bit lonely here. So let's take a seat. At the moment, we haven't actually got a topic on the table, so this is a good time to come. What were you guys chatting about on your way here? You know what I mean? What were you talking about? Come on, let's get involved. I mean, what are we going to talk about here? This seems like a really sort of like family-friendly... This looks like such a family-friendly festival. It seems like a good place for families. There's a lot of children here.
Well, maybe we could talk about this idea that Anwar had just now, which is about kind of parents helping each other. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think sometimes parents have got time to do their thing.
Yeah.
So maybe there should be like this, parents should just offload their children to other parents, you know, get out there and have a bit more free time, and they should be working together more and giving each other advice and tips.
I mean, does that actually happen already? Well, talk to us. You know what? Earlier, people were talking about the fact that, you know, there's not really a great sense of community anymore, and the reason why is because people don't have time. People aren't getting paid enough, so they need to work. But how have they made it that way? You know.
In this country, because they're living in this country, there's people on benefits that are actually better off than working parents, and that's wrong.
But you know, earlier people were saying that there's people who have full-time jobs but they still rely on the food bank.
I work 24 hours, my husband's a 40-hour.
Yeah.
I know people that are on benefits, in certain, and even just not benefits, but even sort of like, there's certain people that are coming to the country that they don't want to work, and they're not entitled to benefits, but will do fraudulent claims to do so. That costs us, because we can't afford to live, and it's not right. It should be for people that are born in the country. I know it sounds because her father's an immigrant, and it's like people such as ourselves that are born here can't get housing.
You know what?
And it's wrong. It's not fair.
But you know,
taxes all my life. I've worked since I was 13, and we're still living in a one-bedroom, and that shouldn't be how it is.
But you know what? That's really an important point, and I feel like that kind of voice is what we need to kind of hear more of. You know,
here, work here, pay their taxes in this country should come before others.
But you know, one of the issues that people said is that there's new houses being built, right? Apparently somewhere in Upton Park there's a new development, but it's 80%, it's affordable, right? But apparently it is affordable. But it's because it's 80% market rate, you know?
I mean, I think people have been saying this all day, so it's obviously a massive, massive issue that needs to be... Come and sit down and get involved in the conversation.
But you know what? I really want to sort of know what I want to hear this kind of voice a bit more, because you know a lot of people have been saying that today, but it's like, what can we do about this? The mayor of Newham was sitting around the table and people asked her the same question. You know, people are feeling like they just can't make ends meet. Where's this going? And everyone's so stressed. No one has time for anything. What can be
is the upper class bankers and all these like people head of major companies that are earning themselves big bonuses need to stop them from doing it and put that money back into the country.
You know, is there anything that we can do? You know what, actually, there's a forum over there. I don't know if you got any flyers. There's a forum where you can actually share your views about these kind of topics, because
people in this working class people in this country stop and put a hold to it. The government will never do nothing.
But then, do you think that can happen? But I just think, what is the solution? Because it's been like this for a number of years. It's not going to get easier. Families are being split up. You know, you have grandmas moving outside London, and all these.
Today, my darling, it's not politics. It's politics.
But hold on, let me give you a flyer. Let me give you a flyer for this forum where you can actually go and voice your opinion. Yeah. But there's things that we can do about it. Everyone just got to sort of come together, I think.
I mean, I do sort of agree with all of that, and I do think it is being ratcheted away, all the things that working people have built in this country, and it's all being gradually sold off or taken away. one way or another. But I think we need to react in a positive way and actually get together.
I just want to say that, you know, your voice is important, and honestly, like, I mean, I'm from Hackney, but if you live in Newham, you should go to that thing that's on the flyer there. Honestly, like, get your voice heard, because unless we speak up, then nothing's going to change. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway. Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you, thanks.
Thanks for coming. Where are we going to go with this conversation, I suppose?
But you know what? One thing that I've kind of...
Yeah. Come and sit down and get involved.
But you know, one thing about community is talking. You know, I feel, you know, from my observation is that a lot of people have those kind of opinions, but we're too afraid to really actually talk about it, because embedded in that is a lot of views that people find a bit uncomfortable, and I think we need to speak about that. That's the only way we're gonna, like, you know. Anyway.
I totally agree with you, Ellen, I have to say. I mean, I probably would. But anyway, we've got new faces to the table. Maybe they're going to give some fresh blood to this conversation. Maybe come up with a new topic. I mean, they've got something to say on this one, but I feel like because they've just come, maybe we should find out who they are and go from there.
Let's take from there. Hello. So we got Mona Lisa. We've got
Amy.
Chantel.
Mikey.
Ellen, this is Talkaoke. And we've got Zainab. Oh, it's a nice name. So many lovely names around the table. So yeah, as I said, I'm Ellen. This is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show, and we've been talking and chatting and mumbling and rumbling since yesterday. That's how long we've been speaking, covering all sorts of topics, from what makes you happy to how can we be optimistic to should we ban children from sugary snacks to is there enough affordable housing in Newham? But and then we talked about bullying, like how therapeutic, like things like dancing can be, you know, all sorts of stuff. So I mean, is there anything that you want to talk about? You've kind of come at a good time because we're chucking a few topics on the table, you know what I mean? So
I think that children, they like have more opportunities doing dance, and they like, some people go for the wrong path in life, like goes for gangs and that, and some people go for dancing to like karate and that, and like I don't know how to explain it. I think Newham should like push children towards the right path than the wrong.
Okay, right. So do you think it's just that? Do you think that children know enough about how to go down the right path? Do you think the options are there for people to find out about things like that?
No, I think that like there should be more advertisements or something to actually show children, or like leaflets, for example.
I mean, I do think that the creative self-expression and creativity is so important for everybody, not just professional dancers and musicians and artists, but everybody. Because of what we said earlier on, that actually creativity boosts your confidence. You're solving problems, as you said, and I think we're underestimating how important things like music and dance and art and any kind of creativity is.
But I was just going to say, I really like this. Your outfit is so nice. I really love the pattern, the print, the colour. It's lovely. Thumbs up to that. Anyway, we got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Adam.
Nice to meet you. Come and take a seat. Come and get involved. So you were saying that like creativity, you know, self-expression, it's really, really important. Do you know what I mean? You know? Yeah. Okay. Take care. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway.
No, that's it. It's so important, and you know, I don't know what it's like in Newham because I don't really know Newham, but I just think there needs to be really a way that all the young people, people in general, can express themselves.
Yeah. So I mean, do you feel that you can express yourself enough? You know, you are an actress and dancer.
Yeah.
I mean, we got an actress and dancer here. What about you?
I do the same, and earlier we was performing on the stage.
Oh, cool. So, what kind of dancing were you performing?
Well, I was doing hip hop and she was doing ballet.
Oh, cool. And do you do ballet and do you do hip hop sometimes?
I do tap and ballet, drum and singing, and she does hip hop, ballet, drum and singing.
Oh, cool. And we got some new faces around this table. What's your name?
Inam.
Yom, yeah?
Adam.
Adam. Oh, we got two Adams. Yeah, Adam to Adam. Oh, yeah.
Nada.
So yeah, come and grab a seat. You know, we were talking about, you know, is there enough places for like young people or people in general to like express themselves? You know, we've got a dancer, we've got a couple of dancers around the table. Mikey here was saying how important it is to like be creative and you know, whether that's through dance, art, drawing, whatever, because that form of self-expression can be quite therapeutic. I mean, are you guys into the arts? You know, are you quite creative, or do you sort of dance maybe? I don't know.
My friend Adam does.
Okay.
No, I don't.
And what style of dancing do you do?
I don't dance.
You don't know. What about when you're in your bedroom by yourself, like?
I dance in my dream.
In your dream.
Recently he's been doing there's a game called Fortnite.
Oh right.
And he's been doing the Fortnite dances.
Oh right, okay.
Is there dancing in Fortnite?
Yeah, there's a lot of dances and
How does it go? How does the dancing go?
No, I showed him I forgot. It was in my dream, I said.
You seem to know quite a bit. Maybe you could show us.
No. I don't play the game, but he does.
Does anyone play Fortnite around the table?
I'd just like to ask, because I mean, this has been a subject that's been on the table quite a lot. Is Fortnite something like that? Is it a form of self-expression? Yeah. Is it actually a creative, or is it sucking their creativity from our young people's minds?
Yeah, that's so true. Like, do you think games like Fortnite, maybe you guys are too busy practicing, so you haven't actually played it. But yeah, that's a really good question.
Well, I heard Fortnite is the biggest popular game ever in the world.
Yeah.
I have a little brother who's 9 years old. He's addicted to Fortnite, but I'm not a Fortnite fan myself, but I don't know. Well, I'm no good at Fortnite, so I'm not playing. So I've heard this game is very addictive. What does everyone think?
Yeah, I mean, so Nada, you were saying that you don't think that it is creative and it's a way to express yourself, yeah? You don't think so?
It's something good to do in your leisure time, that's it.
Yeah, but from what everyone's saying, it's as if this whole Fortnite thing is taking over people's lives, you know? I mean,
I just feel like the future of computer games has got to be more active, because you've got the problem with things like Fortnite. You're just sitting there and you're not actually really exercising, whereas these girls here are doing, like, in their spare time, they're doing dancing, they're actually moving their bodies. These guys are not moving their bodies, they're just being static, and I think that's going to lead to health problems in the future.
I mean, so you're saying, you're nodding, you agree?
Yeah, it's quite visible that by playing Fortnite a lot, we've become quite fat.
Well,
especially him.
Yeah, his legs are broken as well.
But then surely there's a lot of finger action, so wouldn't that sort of keep you active?
Not really.
That wouldn't translate to osteoporosis.
Look how skinny my hands are, bro.
Oh yeah, that's so true. But yeah, I mean, what about games like Pokemon Go and stuff like that? That seems to be
quite popular. It's not quite like attractive.
Did you play it?
Yeah, we played it for a bit. Everyone played it for a bit, and then it just died out. But Fortnite has been like prolonged, like throughout.
But my boy, you know Amir Khan, the boxer.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm close with him, so yeah, he does all the what do you call it? Charities and that.
Okay.
You get involved.
Yeah. So you do a bit of sparring with him from time to time.
It's all about the lifestyle, isn't it? And robbery and fraud.
Yeah. I mean, so what is your lifestyle like? You know, what is your lifestyle?
I'm a forex trader.
You're a what?
Forex trader.
You're a forex trader. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that means again there's a lot of sitting going on there.
What's a forex trader? Can you just explain what you do?
Basically, it's like you get signals and that you basically trade gold or currencies, such as like, you know, British pounds, euros and all that. So you basically trade them depending on the market and everything. So yeah. Yeah, it's improving, yeah. I just came back from Dubai. I'm going again next week.
Yeah. Where are you buying your next house? Are you too young to buy a house?
I'm 18.
I don't know how old you have to be to buy a house. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, were you guys into Pokemon Go?
I wasn't really into games, but like my little brother plays games, I'd just play with him, but I'm not really into games.
Yeah, like I downloaded the game and everything, but it wasn't like very interesting.
I mean, what would be the ideal type of game? Something in between like Fortnite and Pokemon Go?
For me, yeah, like the ideal type of game would be like something like, you know, when you play Wii or something. You know, when you play Wii, like you move your hands around, you shake your body around, like the dance games and stuff like that. You're doing something at the same time you're playing the game. You know where I'm coming from?
Okay, yeah. So it's got to be active. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could design the game around the table now. You know?
I mean, I don't know if you've ever played Just Dance. You know, when you're dancing and you're playing a computer game at the same time, I think that kind of works, and it does improve your moves as well.
Cool. Like, I mean, would you play Just Dance now? Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the next couple of years, like nowadays, there's VR, virtual reality gaming, and I think with that, like in a couple of years, there might be games that will be attractive to all of us. So not like Just Dance and it'll make us more fit, like some fitness games, using the VR and stuff like that.
I mean, have you guys played Just Dance on this side, yeah?
Yeah, I used to play Just Dance, and I still play it, like sometimes.
But I suppose in a way you're kind of dancing in real life, right? So you don't really need to simulate it. I mean, if there was a game that you could create, like, what would that game be? Like, what would the characters look like, you know?
I don't really know.
In a way, this Forex trading is a little bit like playing a computer game, except you get real money instead. So maybe better computer games would be games that you can get real money if you're successful at them.
Yeah, it's so true. That's so true. Is it like playing a game Forex trading? Is it like playing a game Forex trading?
Kind of, because it's prediction-wise and kind of. It's like a game. But before I go, I just want to say, football's coming home.
Do you think?
You're not the first.
Yeah. So obviously, football's coming home. Yeah, come on England.
I just want to say something to you, like, because we've heard a lot of this today, football's coming home, but I just, you know, thinking ahead, I just want people to be prepared and ready for the possibility, because a lot of it is based on luck, that something could go wrong and England could get knocked out in the semi-finals. Are you ready? Have you got a kind of plan B to deal with that possible disappointment, because it could be quite disappointing at the end, and there's a problem.
Listen, it's not about going to the final. At least we got this far. We need to be appreciated with the team. That's basically my point of view. We got this far, yeah. Like, we shouldn't back up for no reason. You get me where I'm coming from?
I do get ya, but that's not realistic, because reality is that who could beat them? Any one of the teams.
And at first, like football's coming over, it's kind of like a joke, but now obviously we've got this far. We have to be dedicated. We're gonna win.
So you know, was England your first team, or were you supporting anyone else? But now they've
No, of course I was supporting England.
But who else were you supporting?
He was supporting Tunisia. And then all the Arab teams got out.
Yeah.
So obviously we're supporting England.
Who was your second team or first team?
Probably like Germany, but that's
Germany.
it.
And who else were you supporting? India. Oh right, you're
England all the way.
100%. Well, these guys are there. Okay, that's interesting. What about you guys? Do you support footballers? Do you watch football? Do you support England?
Yeah, like it's good that they've come this far, and like because most people like they don't really pay attention as much on England, but now that they've come this far, then yeah.
So now they've come this far, you wanna get them involved. And what about you?
Yeah, I agree that football, like England's like come like so far, like number 4, so like there's a chance they might win.
Yeah, wow. There's a chance.
I mean, remember, Ellen, when earlier on we were talking about diversity and are we celebrating diversity enough? I think the England football team's a classic example because the team is made up of real English people, but those English people are from lots of different racial and ethnic backgrounds, and most of them actually as a mixed background. And I think that shows what actually England is about these days. And so, you know, I think that's one of the best things to be proud of is how the English team is made up of such a mixture of different backgrounds.
You know, I really want to get your opinions on that. You seem to kind of agree with those sort of sentiments. But we got a new face at the table, so hold it there. What's your name?
My name is
is Narmada Bensa. I live in Forest Gate.
Oh, you live in Forest Gate? Let's hear from you.
I learning in English.
Yeah.
But I know learn.
And what's your name?
My name is Mrs. Vivasani.
Yeah.
I live in the Forest Gate. And I am I am yoga and walking in Palastro Park and the people.
Yeah, I see. So yeah, I mean, right now we're talking all about football, but yeah, I just want to get your opinions on that. Like, what do you think? Do you think the football team, England football team, is so reflective of England right now? When you watch them, do you feel a sense of like pride? Do you feel that you can kind of relate to them a bit more?
Yeah, of course. Like the current football team, it's got a lot of mixed players, like players from like different descents, and obviously I could, like growing up, you see how they grew up, and you can relate to it. Like most of them came from like similar backgrounds, like similar times, similar working class families.
Yeah, thank you.
And I feel very proud, like watching them play and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, and let us know how it all goes. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? Thank you. I want to get your opinions. We're talking about football right now, and I don't know if you've watched the World Cup or yeah, definitely.
Are you feeling the buzz, the World Cup buzz? Do you feel that the atmosphere has changed? Are you excited about it?
I woke up is some 8 o'clock and I doing my spray. I having bath after the pray. Then I'm going ready to go in college, English class. Monday to Wednesday. And Monday I went in the computer class.
Okay then.
And then I'm Thursday and Friday I work for voluntary in the Subco Center. So I looking for job.
It sounds like you've got like a busy.
Yeah. And Saturday, Sunday I go to my friend with and around everywhere.
So maybe not much time for football then.
No.
Not much time for watching.
I looking and I like this football in the TV. Sometimes I have got time, evening time. Yeah, I like it.
Oh right, okay, so you do watch it then. So it's kind of exciting, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get a final thought from Mona Lisa here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Regarding
any final thoughts from anything you've heard today or this weekend?
I don't know what to say. It's good when you join the community, because by chatting you can.
Thank you very much.
You can learn things or you can teach.
Right.
And also changes your mood, so it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck everyone, and thank you. Bye.
I'll be in touch with you anyway. Take care. Nice to meet you anyway. Take care. Thank you. Bye, Lorenz. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, God, quite a few interesting perspectives there. It sounds like even though people are having busy schedules, they're still finding time to watch a bit of football. I mean, where do you guys watch football? Or are you at school when it's on?
Usually we're at school when it's on, but like, for example, yesterday we went Galleon's Reach, and there's like a big screen where they was playing football.
Yeah.
So we'd watch football there, or like we'd watch football in our house.
Yeah. So you get enough coverage. And earlier they were talking about the fact that a lot of the girls, women around the table, they weren't interested in watching it. And we were trying to work out like why is it that like women aren't as interested in watching the football. It sounds like you guys are quite into it. So
yeah, because I play football myself, so like I think like football is for like girls and boys, not just like boys.
It's unisex, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think some girls think that it's just for boys to watch, so that's why they don't watch it.
Can I just say something? You were asking earlier on about what about the Women's World Cup, and there is a Women's World Cup, and England got to the semi-finals again in the Women's World Cup. However, not a single bar in London, well actually 2 bars in the whole of Greater London was showing the game, just 2. And I went to one of them, and 90% of the audience watching that game were not women, they were men. So there were many more men interested in the women's football than there were women. And I find that curious, and I just think it's that women like playing sport, but they're not necessarily that interested in that kind of you know, cheering on their team. They're much more interested in playing it themselves, so to speak.
Like tennis, you know, I think that tennis gets maybe with sports like tennis, you know, you got a lot of, there's men and women that play. I think there's more representation when it comes to women. And I'm sure at the matches you get an equal kind of representation. I think that's a really interesting question. I think with football what's happened is that, like, over the years it's been a sport that people have seen only kind of men play. It's just really masculine. So therefore people don't really associate women playing that. While with like tennis, that's seen as a more feminine thing, you know, even athletics is a bit more feminine, but yeah, I don't know, I think maybe football needs a bit of a marketing, you know?
Maybe it's this Chelsea supporter here. Come on, we're talking about the World Cup, we're talking about football and women's football.
Did you see the...
Oops.
Yeah. I mean,
They're not that interested.
But let me put it out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, The Warriors is such a classic film, you know. I mean, I love that film. It's such a classic movie. Like, wow, I kind of wanted a t-shirt like that for a while. So where did you get it from? Where did you get your t-shirt from? I wanted one like that for a little while. Oh, it was the Echo. But have you seen that film, The Warriors, yeah?
38 years of age, of course I have.
I mean, it's such a classic movie, right? But then that film, you're 30, but that film's older than... Right, because that film's quite old. I mean, okay, fair enough then, I'll allow you. Yeah. How old do I look? Oh, okay, right. I'm actually 40, by the way. I was born in 1978. Yeah, exactly. Hey. Yeah, well, you know, there you go. I'm actually 29, so sorry, I lied. But I can still appreciate a good movie anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'll put it out there. Did anyone actually watch the Women's World Cup? I mean, when was it on? When was it actually on? Was it, what year was that?
It's a few years back now. I think it's 2015 it was on, the Women's World Cup, and it will be on next year in 2019. It was in Canada. But yeah, as I said, it was mostly men in this country anyway. It was mostly men interested in it.
That's really interesting. I mean, where do we want to take the conversation? We've got a new face at the table. What's your name? Yeah, give us a final thought before you go. I love your sort of no-gold outfit. That's really cool.
I like talking like here because like it lets us like express like how like what we think and everything, and like the topics that's like different, like it's not like what you would like suspect to be talking about usually. So yeah.
Well, that's really fun. Glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that like it gives us a chance of like actual children speaking out of what they think.
Exactly.
And I think that like mostly it's only like grown-ups and what they think, and like children don't get a say in it.
Do you think there's enough of opportunities for you to actually voice your opinions in the borough?
Yeah, I think so, but like not as much as we hope for.
Yeah, that you'd like.
I mean, I do think that's really important to find out what everyone thinks of any age, really, and not to, you know, I do think some of the comments coming from the adults to the kids have been possibly a little bit kind of, you know, in the vein of I know what I know but you don't know kind of thing, and I think it's kind of not pay. Can we get involved in this? We're talking about the World Cup. Is it giving a buzz to the nation? What about the Women's World Cup?
I know, right? What about it? When is the next one?
We got a new face over there.
Is France
He's lost his phone.
Is France still in the World Cup? I mean,
France is in the semi-final with Belgium.
Oh, okay then. So there's still a chance.
Yeah.
That
So it could be the.
They could win.
It could be the French that win it. They're looking very strong at the moment.
It looks like the gentleman on that table has something to say. Come and give us 30 seconds of your time. As you see, we need to sort of look a bit busier. You know, come and help us out here.
I don't know. I think it seems like it's worse than we're asking for money or asking people to donate a kidney. All we want is for them to come and have a conversation with each other. Sometimes, you know, I know it's hot and everything, but we're not really asking for that much. Come and sit down before you take your photo. Join in.
Let me get the mic in your hands.
Yeah. Okay, come on. Do you want to be in the photo? Have a seat. Have a seat. There
You
we
can
go.
take one with me with the mic. You can take one with me with the microphone if you like. I mean, maybe it's a bit too posed.
Hold the mic to the camera.
Yeah. Hello, how's it going, man? Yeah. So basically, right. Let me grab your name.
I tell you my name.
That's okay. That's okay. Every now and then we have like anonymous, people. But and I guess you're maybe, yeah. Come on. Oh wow! Look at all of this ice cream. I'm so jealous. I do want an ice cream. I just want to chill out, just chilling out with some ice cream. Anyway, we got some new faces around the table, and yeah. Oh yeah. Let me just speak to this guy. Hey.
Can I just ask? Is this fake news now that we are sort of restructuring something for the camera like this? Was this now fake news? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, come and join us. You've come at a really good time. Where did you get those bags from? Actually, I've seen a few people with them, and they look really nice.
Just over there. Absolutely fantastic. They're really doing a fantastic job there with all the children, and the parents are amazed at the talent and what they can actually teach our children. So really well done.
Yeah, well, why not take a little 60 seconds, sit down, get involved with the conversation, make us look busier, and yeah, come on, get involved. It's been kind of a jam-packed weekend actually.
I'm enjoying watching all the residents and people like myself. I work for the borough, so I'd rather let a nice resident have the glory of this day. But I'm admiring everything, and well done to all of you for all the hard work that you do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, my throat. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, it looks like we are kind of wrapping up the conversation. Come and join us. I mean, we were talking a lot about football before, but now you can talk about absolutely anything. I mean, you guys look like you've just done some exercise. Come and let us know. Yeah. So anything. What were you talking about en route here? This is your platform to talk about absolutely anything. And my gosh, have we covered a wide range of topics from, do we spend too much time on our mobile phones? Is there a sense of community in Newham? I mean, where are you from? Are you from Newham? Okay, so I'm not Waltham Forest. That's it, Waltham Forest. I mean, what's it like there in Waltham Forest compared to Newham?
It's a good community.
Yeah. But what makes a good community? That's been a topic we've been really trying to get our teeth into today.
I'm probably a bit biased because I live there.
Oh, but there's been a lot of people that have lived in Newham that haven't had positive things to say about it. So, but yeah, I mean, Leighton seems like a nice place. What makes it work for you?
It's got a good athletic community. We do sport, 100 meters, all that stuff there. I'm from an athletic background. Eat properly, low body fat, ketogenic diet, the whole lot. I can keep you going.
So for you, athletics, fitness, sport.
Can I ask, has the Olympics had an effect there where it's given people more interest in athletics since the Olympics came?
Yes and no. You got the Westfield. Other than that, the money the way they pushed it to get it was a failure.
In what way?
There was no youth centres. Kids are still getting killed. They shut down the youth centres. They had so much. I don't want to get into it.
I mean, this is in a way this is a bit of an old topic because it's 6 years old. But when they did the Olympics, the bid was all about diversity. What a diverse area East London is. This is going to help, as you said, all the young people. It's going to get them into jobs, and it's going to. But yeah, in the end, it was all corporations that benefited, like Westfield, like the big companies.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
It was a shambles from the start. Because when they knew West Ham, because they sold West Ham, they had to go in somewhere, and they put them in Olympic Park. Now the mayor, Sadiq Khan, wants that park back for himself. So now West Ham's got to get out. Where are they going? Well,
I thought that West Ham went there permanently. I didn't realise they had to move.
I didn't know that either, but I mean, to be honest, I think that's been a failure for West Ham, that stadium, because it's so vast, whereas Upton Park used to be a much more close environment, and you certainly felt the crowd, you felt the excitement, and you're right on the pitch, right there, and it was the atmosphere's gone now. It's over.
You know, what team do you support?
I'm a West Side supporter, but East London boy, Leytonstone.
Have you been to the new?
I'm representing, listen, I was a 1995 English schoolboys champion, 10.75, 100 metres champion. But listen, a lot has changed. I had no support there. I had to hustle for my money, I had to hustle for my spikes, for my shoes. And it took me a lot up. When the Olympic Village was built, I was 7 times.
You were?
7 times.
So, I mean, how did that make you feel? Because obviously, like, you were...
I feel disappointed.
Yeah.
The first few weeks when I was lost. I didn't know where I was going. After that, it was just a waste of time. Like you said, the corporations. For me, I'm still in shape. I know about body percentages. The kids are only going to listen to someone like me. I don't give a shit about how much qualifications you got. Are you going to go and talk to these kids? Oh, don't stab this guy. Why? They're not going to relate to you. They're going to relate to me. Because I can tell it, and you can see it. I'm 6% body fat right now. I have to keep it moving because I have to keep fueling my body. I'm 40 years old, and I'm going to do a bodybuilding competition in 12 months. And I am going to be in the greatest shape of my life.
Do you think that maybe some of these young people
I'm cut to shreds.
Do some of these young people need
The government ain't going to help any of these kids. What they're going to do is tell their mum they're dead. That's what they do.
So do you think that maybe some of these young people need to get into bodybuilding?
Well, if they want to, come to Muscle Heart Leytonstone. Speedman General will help them, and that's me.
They can get involved.
They can, and I'm diet. 80% is diet.
What do you eat?
20% is the training.
Wow, that sounds.
I mean, one of the things that's come out earlier on today is that the troubled kids, at least, they need to talk.
But you know what? I'm really liking your opinion right now. I feel like I want to hear your opinion because oftentimes we don't hear these voices. Is that how you felt, like when you were growing up, that the government didn't care about you, that they weren't interested in your opinion?
They still don't give a shit.
But that's what a lot of people have been saying. But what can we do to make them listen?
The only time you see them little idiots on TV is when a little kid kills someone. Do you understand? Like I said to you, I'm 6% body fat. I've been inside the jail. I'm bodybuilding now. I'm 40 years old. And I'm in shape. And these government people ain't gonna do nothing for anyone. And it's gonna stay this way for 20 fucking.
But what can we? But I don't think so because we can all come together and make some changes. Because I mean, at the end of the day, because look. The thing is, unless we talk about these things, then...
I got to work, mate. I do 12-hour shifts. Ain't no time for doing all that.
But you know what? A lot of people have been saying around the table that there's just no time for anything. And, you know?
I mean, that's the thing is that, you know, it is an issue that's come up. Come and have a seat around the table, and we need to hear what this man thinks as well about some of these topics. I mean, obviously there's a lot of...
So, I mean, I can see that small little conversation has riled him up a bit, and a lot of things that people have been saying about this area is that it's really great to live in. They love it. People are friendly, but you know, people are feeling quite angry about the fact that, you know, they're not sure if their future's going to be here. They're not sure if they're going to be able to afford to actually stay here because people aren't getting paid enough money. There's no time. There's just a lot of strains. People are concerned about the new people coming in, and you know. So, I mean, you've definitely come at an interesting time, you know. So let's get around to this. What's your name?
Emily. Marcia.
Oh yeah, no name.
Mikey,
I'm Elam. Again, this is Talkaoke.
My question, is this something that is new? People uncertain about their futures? It's been going on for generations.
Yeah.
So this is something that is not new.
Is this something that's not new?
well, obviously, yes, there's always been this sense of like precarious future.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, what we're seeing is the rich getting very much richer, and the majority of people getting left behind.
Yeah.
And at the same time, people have been told how important it is to have money and the rest of it. So there's a kind of, there's more pressure, there's more anxiety, let's say, about having to make money, rather than other sort of views. And I think that's what's causing this maybe greater anxiety than there used to be.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you've really hit the nail on the head, basically. I mean, welcome back. You know, we've had some. We have been here all weekend, and it's so nice when you get to see some familiar faces. Yeah, exactly. So it's great. And as I was saying, like, you know, we're talking about a number of subjects. At the moment, we were talking about the fact that, you know, are we living in anxious times? You know, we're told that we need to look great, we need to have the nicest car, the prettiest houses, but people just aren't being paid enough money. You know, people can't afford to pay their rent. You know, you got teachers, nurses having to rely on food banks, and people are worried about the fact that, you know, as some people have said, let me get your point.
You should talk about money. What the government gives people to live on is fucking shit.
Yeah.
I get £50 a fortnight to live on.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to live on that for a fortnight?
Wow. £50 every 2 weeks, so £25 a week.
£25 a week.
£5 a day.
Yeah. What? You can't get no shopping with that.
I mean, what about your like transport? Like, how do you afford to sort of get on the bus and get out and about? I mean,
I have to walk everywhere.
I mean, that's shocking. What kind of situation is this? Is it some kind of, you know, benefits? What's this called? You know? Huh?
ESA.
ESA. I mean, has anyone heard of this before? Like £50 for, you know, I mean, who can live on £5, £50 for 2 weeks? Yeah.
That's what the government survey said people could live on.
Yeah.
Which is a load of bollocks.
Yeah. I mean, do you think because, you know, one of the ways we go onto the topic of money is the fact that a lot of people said that even though they like living here, there's no sense of community because people simply don't have time to like organize events because people are out there hustling basically. So I mean, what do you think? Do you feel like you have time to actually sit out and get out and about in your communities, or do you feel that do you have time to get out and about in your community, or do you just feel that you're constantly just working?
Hi, my name is R. Hussain. Actually, I just stayed the sign and I thought maybe you guys can help us. And maybe this is not related to that. But as a Muslim Shia community, we are facing this big challenge. We only have one Shia mosque in our local area, in Newham, just one. And it was actually community place. But we don't know the trustee how he managed to put all the property on his name. He is going to sell the property. This is on Imamia Mission on Rumford Road. We contact Newham Council, they didn't do anything. We took the case to the court. They said, unfortunately, we can't do anything and we lost. Then we contact Charity Commission. Unfortunately, Charity Commission is not doing anything.
I was going to say, actually, you know what? It's a shame that you didn't come before because we had the new mayor of Newham sitting around the table. And I don't know, I was wondering, is there a way that you can like maybe contact her and sort of, get in touch with her and voice her opinion? Because it does feel like it's a sort of forum for,
We tried
get in touch with her.
on our hands because we are just a handful of people. We try our best. We did every kind of what we can do. We had signed a petition of over 1,500 people, but unfortunately, we are empty-handed.
I mean, but you know what? I feel like there's a wider issue there. So in the whole of Newham, there's only one, mosque, Shia mosque, and basically, I just want to know. It seems like you're struggling to contact the right people. Earlier, we were talking about the fact that residents of Newham are finding it difficult to contact the right people within the council. You know, there were suggestions that we need to actually bring them here in this park, and maybe that will make it easier. I mean, does anyone else find it a little bit difficult to contact their councils?
Every 2 weeks, your councillors and the mayor have surgeries that you can visit and see them to discuss anything you need, like that. I've been to them. Every 2 weeks.
That's interesting. So, and what part of Newham do you live in? You live in East Sam, right? Yeah, Forest Gate. Whereabouts do you live? Yeah. But you know, did you know that every 2 weeks there's like a forum where you can go and chat to your local councillor? It's, you know, live and direct, basically, face to face.
It's a meeting, council meeting. You have 3 MPs, they meet in one place. It's like a surgery. Go down there and have a word with him. And if they don't do nothing, get in touch with Stephen Timms and he will do everything. Because he's a member of the House of Parliament. I think get in touch with Stephen Timms and he can sort something out for you.
Yeah, so that's another way of kind of like getting in touch. You know, I mean, so I guess in a way it comes back to that whole thing about community. Obviously the Shia Mosque, you know, that is a way for your community to kind of like talk to each other, communicate. I mean, what about other things? Where do you go to sort of like chat to your, chat to your neighbours? Like, is that the local pub, the youth club? You know, I mean, where do you go to feel a sense of community? Is it coming to events like this? I just want to get some. What about you? Like, do you feel like you belong in Newham?
That is a good question. No.
And why is that then? Because one of the best things about Talkaoke is that you can chat about whatever you want to chat about. And we've had a plethora of subjects on the table today. You know, some controversial and some, you know, light-hearted. But yeah, why don't you feel like you belong?
Well, I feel like young people aren't offered a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
So they feel like the need to stay at home and find something else to do.
Yeah. And how old are you? Do you mind? 15. And you know, again, like, because yesterday we were talking about the fact that between the ages of 12 and 15, there's not really much for teenagers to do outside of the home. Like, it's like a forgotten group of people. Hey, come and join into the conversation. I think, are you a local councillor? Oh, okay. Oh, very enough. I mean, do you know anything? What can like a 12 to 16-year-old do in Newham? You know, we've been here the whole weekend, right? And one of the many themes that have come up is that, like, it seems to me that the 12 to 15-year-olds, they're kind of forgotten about. Like, they don't know what to do. I mean, this young girl, you're 12, she doesn't feel like that. 15. She feels that she doesn't really belong in Newham, and I kind of feel like, oh, that's a bit. You know, I mean, do you know of any places that she can go to sort of like, I don't know, like find activities?
The youth hubs. Yeah, I got the one. Yeah, so we've got the youth hubs, we've got sports provision.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But do you do any sports? Are you interested in sports? Yeah, so I mean there are like various sports clubs and stuff. Maybe we need. Where do you live?
Forest Gate.
Nothing much to do. Okay, well, get in touch with your councillors.
Oh, she doesn't want to.
And see to them, because I think there probably is stuff, but if you don't know about it, then we need to make sure that you know about it.
However, some people, they try to contact them and they say they will reply within like 2 weeks and then they don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
So who have you contacted and not received a reply?
I don't know, I've not contacted anyone.
Right.
You know that?
I've raised various issues for the last 2 years.
Right.
I have a trail of emails.
Yeah, and you're not receiving any reply.
Been to the surgeries.
Yeah.
Last week I saw the mayor. Like that. And so I'll wait. She's ignoring me now. So next stop is take her higher.
Yeah. I mean, are you able to sort of like maybe touch upon some of the issues that you're raising?
I wouldn't really.
You wouldn't.
Not here, no.
Fair enough.
I mean, this is a more general point, but it comes to a lot of the things we've heard on the table. It is a communication issue, but it's not just about how the council communicates all these very complicated things, because everyone's an individual and they've got a very unique version of their problem. But it's also how those people actually listen and get to understand how it's all set up. So quite often today we've had all these problems come up, and people also need to find out all the intricacies. We've talked a lot about housing, for example, and people just say, "Oh, why isn't Newham building houses?" without understanding. And I still don't properly understand what the government rules are about stopping, the council from being able to spend money that it's got from Right to Buy and stuff like that. So it's a very complicated discussion, and the problem is that there's no interface that people can actually understand how it's all working, both ways, in both directions. It's a very very sort of narrow channel of discussion sometimes. And I think sometimes you need to have a wider, broader conversation.
I have a question for you as a counsellor. Can you people not make yourself more accessible? The council used to be accessible prior, but now it's all closed doors, closed lines, don't contact me if I don't contact you. How are you reaching out to your constituents if you are not accessible?
Depends, what do you mean by not accessible? So,
what do you mean by not
You drop an email, you wait for 10 days to 14 days, and sometimes most times you don't get a response. So if we cannot reach out to you, how are you working for us?
Come to us.
We need the council to become more accessible.
I'm just gonna. There's some new face at the table, so I'm just gonna grab your names. What's your name?
Jamal.
Jamal, yeah.
Nikki.
Nikki.
Say Kemi.
Emily.
Rich.
Rich, yeah. So at the moment we're just talking about how we can get in touch with our counsellors. There seems to be issues with communication. People can't send emails and they're just not getting a reply. So you had a point.
I understand that they're busy people, but you would expect them that they would prioritize other people's issues and all that. And it feels like if you can't turn to them, then who are you meant to turn to?
So I do get a sense of people feeling as though they're sort of knocking their heads against the wall when it comes to, solving different issues in the area. And I just wonder, where will this lead to if people don't see any changes, or if they don't see their issues answered? I mean, where is it going to lead to? A lot of people are saying that they just feel helpless. They feel helpless. And that's going to cause a lot of so much more anxiety, and I just worry about where what that might lead to, really. Are you guys from Newham?
Yes, I'm from Blasto.
Blasto, yeah. And what is it like living there? What is it like living in Blasto? What is it like living there?
What's it like for me? It's very noisy. It's very dirty, but it's very vibrant at the same time. It's not somewhere where something's dead. But it's a wonderful place if that's how you like to live.
It's a nice place if that's how you like to live. And whereabouts are you from?
I live in Beckton.
Beckton.
It's all right, I guess. There's nothing to it really.
So we got some, positive sort of opinions about. You mentioned something about Plaster. Have you ever lived in Plaster before? Do some of his views sort of, resonate with you?
I have, but my sister did.
Oh, right.
In a block of flats, right by Princess, right by the pub.
So you live right by the pub. So where are we gonna go from here? Earlier you were just saying that.
I feel like changes need to be made. Because
Leah, what kind of changes? What kind of changes?
Areas need to be made more safer. Because I feel like for young children, they don't want to get hurt, so they want to stay indoors. And with older people, they're more. I don't know. They feel like because there's more gangs around and all that. They feel like they don't want to get targeted, so they stay away.
Okay, so it seems like more people are staying indoors because they're scared of gangs and crime and
Where we are in Forest Gate, they've segregated each. We live in a communal block, but they've segregated each one by fences that are 6 foot high.
Really?
And
Why is that then?
you can't get into another part because they've got a different key to you. And when I was a child, you could run through, you could do anything you want. There was more community. Now you're segregated. It's like a concentration camp in all honesty. So they can't go out and play because they can't get anywhere other than their own little section.
Wow, so a concentration camp here, like that's...
I mean, I think, you know, I'm not from Newham, but from Hackney, and we've certainly got the same problem of this question of fear, especially for young people. But I think half of it is also the kind of feeling of whether you feel safe. And if you feel safe, then you act in a more safe way. And, you know, actually we're going the other way with more fences and more... Those fences might be protecting people from crime, but they're also making people feel more unsafe because they're saying we've got a problem. And you know, it's like what you were talking about earlier on. There was this kind of like security by design, which for sure might prevent crime in blocks, but actually stops people from talking to each other and getting to know each other and feeling safe in the sense of they know all the people in their area.
I mean, one of the things that people are saying before is that just by seeing the faces behind the doors, it gives you a sense of security, because you don't might not want to be all up in people's houses, but just to know, oh yeah, that person lives there, that person lives there, it creates a sense of community and security, and thus makes you feel much safer. I mean, I find that a little bit disheartening that like there's fences being put up around the blocks, because surely the whole point of one of the ways to sort of defeat knife crime is to sort of like make people be able to sort of run in and out, you know what I mean? Oh hey, you're right.
I also think if like, for example, actually no, I can't say it. If you see one of your friends, for example, that like something's happening to them, I feel like you need to stand up for them more. I feel like most people feel like they don't want to stand up for them because they're scared that they'll get hurt as well.
They'll get targeted. So there's that whole thing where you don't want to be seen to sort of speak out against something that's wrong. We got a new face at the table. You look quite familiar actually. What's your name?
Christine.
Oh, do you know a lady called Marva?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay, that's why I recognise you. So that's I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you've seen something going on that's been wrong, but you've been too afraid to sort of speak up? Let's get some final thoughts from you guys before you go. Oh, okay, you're gonna come back, Oh, okay, great. So maybe I will kind of fill you in actually about what we've been talking about. So, I mean, one of the common themes throughout all of the subjects we've sort of been meandering through has been about community, and how do we sort of like, hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name's Tarina.
Tarina. So yeah, maybe you just heard that little point there about what I was saying about the common theme today has been about community. A lot of people they love living here, but they feel that there's no longer a sense of community because people just don't have time to like talk to each other. We're all so busy trying to earn money that there's no time to even put on a little local barbecue. So, and yeah, people just aren't getting paid enough, you know, there's a lot of anxiety going on around, and I think at the core of it, money's one of the main issues. So we were just talking actually to, what's your name again?
Emily.
And one of her issues is the fact that there's not enough things for young people to do, but also, you know, there's a sort of fear around gangs and crime and violence, you know, and also even if you see something going on that's wrong, you're kind of too afraid to actually like speak up because you may become a target. So perhaps there's not enough security for young people or people to sort of speak up. I mean, does anyone have any sort of opinions or views on some of these things?
I mean, in a sense, I'm not aware of how young people can speak up, but I was in the park last Friday, and a gang of 20 youths started attacking a group of men. And within 3 or 4 minutes, the police were there, sorted it out straight away. I mean, it seems like they are aware of it and they are attacking it. Often people don't see what the police do.
So, I mean, Mikey was saying earlier, perhaps there's more like a perception of fear, is it? You know, like rather than it's, you know, crime. I don't know, but like we have this idea that we're living in such a violent place, but the reality is that it's not really that violent. It's just because we sort of taken a lot of the stuff that the media say about, oh my god, in every street corner there's like a gang waiting for you. But what's the reality?
It's what people make it. It could be a nice place or it could be a fucking horrible place. It's what people make it.
Yeah. So it's, and you know, it's what people make it. Somebody was saying before that, like, if you have a positive attitude, it's always gonna come back to you. But what was you gonna say?
But I mean, I think the thing is, like, that incident there, I don't know if did that make you feel more safe because the police arrived, or did it make you feel less safe because you saw this massive violence happening in the park? Because I think the problem is you can have one incident where something goes really bad and it just has just a monumental effect on the whole community, and it can set things back, you know, years because one really bad things happened.
Yeah, that's true.
In all honesty, what I actually thought was that the young men that were doing it were only 16 and they're probably just left school, probably not done so well in the GCSEs and probably a little bit lost. And that's how I feel about them. I'm not afraid of them. But my wife, on the other hand, was petrified.
So why is it that you weren't afraid of them? Because
I'm a giant.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you know, I guess there's that. Yeah, I mean, would you feel afraid if you were in a park and saw like a bunch of...
Well, I'd feel afraid, but also I think that like peer pressure doesn't help.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like they leave and then they're like, I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I feel like I should join them. So then like I have like security.
Yeah.
So then I feel like people use violence.
Yeah.
So then I feel safe.
Right, okay then. So I suppose it's that whole thing where if you like put out violence, a little violent at you, then it's gonna be what you attract. And also I think that point about what you were saying about like maybe they're a bunch of 16-year-olds who ain't done so well in school, so they're feeling a little bit lost. And earlier we were talking about the fact that a local councillor came round and said that, you know, wants to provide a lot more apprenticeships and options other than university. But then a lot of people, let me grab your point. So rambling on.
Okay, so firstly, there are a lot of assumptions being made.
Okay.
Young people are young people, and it's like when you get past 21 or over 30, you seem to forget that you were once a young person.
Yeah.
Being young means that you want to be out, you want to have fun in the sun, and at the end of the day, there's not a lot going on in Newham for them because there's been so many cuts. There's no youth clubs, there's no community centres, they're all getting closed down. The police stations are being closed down. So yeah, people are lost, and at the end of the day we've got so many different communities that are being crammed together, and we don't know about each other well enough, and then we have that fear because you don't know them. That is the fear. But if we just take the time to say good morning, hello to somebody, to smile and to try to engage people, I think that you will find that the world could be a lovelier place if we just take the time to do that.
I mean, we had like a young councillor on the table, and he said that in his block in Stratford, what he did is he literally knocked on every door and like invited everyone round for some tea or something like that. And in that way, everyone kind of knows each other now, so they have a bare sense of community and security. But I mean, how do you get past that fear? How do you pluck up the courage to actually like knock on someone's door and like, you know, I mean.
To be honest, I feel like you need trust as well. Because before, when I was at home, some person was knocking on my door and I was like, I don't feel safe to answer it.
Yeah. So, I mean, but also as well, I'm interested in her point when she said that there are a lot of different communities in Newham today, and like, maybe we're not, there's no sort of forum to allow all of these different people to communicate. I mean, earlier somebody said that, you know, she's been working in Newham since she was 13, and she feels that she should have the right, she should have the right to have somewhere to live, and she feels that the new people coming in are taking the housing and taking the jobs. So there's a lot of anger there, and I feel like, somebody around the table said before that people aren't really given the education, they're not given the context as to why, you know, all of these, you know, let's just put it what it is, about the immigration system, why there are all of these different people moving into the area, you know, what's the reason why?
Because I've been here, I wasn't here yesterday, but I was here today. That's one half of the story, but there is also a positive side in that, you know, Newham is a wonderfully diverse place where I think there is a lot of understanding and communication between groups. I do think it could be better, and obviously we're going to dwell on the problems rather than, you know, the good things. And I think that this is in a context of quite a positive vibe, and also a sense of, you know, earlier on we were talking about England and what the current England team means to a sense of identity of England that is, you know, more of a, you know, mixed backgrounds rather than, you know, just the people that I guess that were saying things like that feel kind of like England is white people that have lived here for generations.
Yeah, I mean, has anyone got any kind of views on that? You know, it's quite loaded.
But if we just talk about the positives, then we're gonna give people a false sense of hope that this place is good.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your hopes about the future for Newham? Like, I mean, do you see yourself being here in 5 years' time?
What?
When you're 20?
What happens to you? I think it's because you're near there. Yeah. I don't know what I want to do yet. Like, I know what I want to do in the future.
Yeah.
But I just don't know where I want to live. I feel like, I don't know, honestly.
Yeah. You're uncertain. I mean, what about yourself? What do you feel about the future of Newham? You know, you said that there's a lot of like, I don't know. I mean, yeah. What do you think?
That is a huge question. The future of Newham. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep it short. I live in Newham and I work in Newham. I help a lot of vulnerable families in Newham, and one of the things that keep coming to the forefront are the different cuts that are happening.
Yeah.
So they're cutting this for this reason and that reason, but ultimately, it's the people that are on the ground that suffer the most.
Yeah.
It's the people that don't have, you know, the great jobs and access to resources that people may have.
Yeah.
And I just want to take it back to the transient population that we have in Newham. We've got so many people that come and go and come and go. And unfortunately, when you have so many people that are moving around and not settling in one place, that's where you get the fear of, well, I don't know who my next door neighbour is. Or I see a young person, and because I see all the things that are happening on the media that are negative, then instead of saying good morning or hello to a young person or even an old person, you just walk past them. That's not nice. I think that a lot of the problems can be solved by just being kind. Just showing a bit of love and a little bit of concern for your...
Is that what you do when you're out and about, you know? Like,
sure. Because you have to be that example. I'm not telling you anything that I wouldn't do myself. So I'm generally a happy person. I walk around...
How did you get to being that person? Like, have you always been this way, or was it a journey?
I've always worked in the community. So my mother always said to me that I must give back to my community. So it's been one of my foundations. I teach my children the same thing. I've always had, a strong community standing, whether it be I'm a governor at the school that I'm working, I work in a school, I work with volunteers, I train people. So I'm immersed in the community. So that's what needs to be done. And we need to teach the children from young, otherwise they're going to be, not part of it. You have to teach them.
I'm just going to grab Mikey's point on this side and then
I think we just, sadly, we're going to have to close this up and get final thoughts because we've come to the end here. Sorry to be the one. But I really agree with what you're saying. But I think it's about contribution. People are actually desperate to contribute and to put something into their community. But they need to be recognised and they need to be helped to put something into their community.
All right, well, as you heard, we're going to get around the final thought. So let me get a final thought from yourself about just about anything you've seen today or heard today around the table.
So final thoughts, we definitely need to have more of these types of community events all the time. I know they're expensive, but however, sometimes we've got pockets of communities that can do it and invite other people to come along and experience that. So I'm happy that the new mayor decided to continue doing this because it's nice for people to get out and enjoy the great vibration, because when we're all happy, it actually spreads, it permeates out, and we need to be more happier. So there you go.
We need to be more happier. Any final thoughts from yourself?
I think all I'd say is, why don't we each give it a try? We've heard about saying hello to someone. What's the worst that can happen? Let's say hello to someone on our street, and do you know what? If they say, go away, they say go away. So I'm really inspired by that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you. Any final thoughts?
I feel like we need to spread positivity. But I feel like I understand that some people haven't had like, they might not have had the best morning or like wake up call. But I feel like what makes it worse is then they then, instead of spreading positivity, they're then negative for the rest of the day, which then has an impact on everyone else's day.
Yeah, yeah. So spread positivity. Any final thoughts about anything you've heard today or?
I'd like the council to be more open to suggestions.
Yeah.
More accessible, especially to our youth.
Yeah.
Because they're very closed off to the youth and make things known, how they can get in touch.
Yeah. Let me grab a final thought from you at the back there. Yeah.
These are very good events. They are very expensive to run. With the previous administration working in the services, you don't see, as the public, how much the services suffer to fund these events with the cuts that have to be made. They are good, but there needs to be a balance.
There's got to be a balance. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, what was said earlier on about the councillors? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something here.
Thank you. See you next time. Yeah, thank you.
About councillors. I'm going to say something, but I don't want to offend you.
Okay, you don't want it recorded. Cool.
Right. So what I was trying to say is, all the councillors are doing things for other communities, and when you want to do it for your community, they don't want to know. It's like we hold events down in North Woolwich, and we've asked all 3 councillors to come down. It's like a railway club, just held in North Woolwich Library. We've asked the councillors to come down time and time again, but none of them want to know. So the councillor from another, from Brixton, come over to have a look.
So you're saying the councillors are just not doing enough for our people?
They're not doing enough work for our community, but they will do it for other communities.
And what's your community? What do you see as your community?
We've got no help, no nothing, nobody. We have to do everything ourselves.
Well, I mean, there's a councillor here. I don't know. Well, any final thoughts?
I have loads, but really the community engagement. I think today is great, but for 3 years I've not seen anything in Plaistow. Like there's no physical drop in and find something without having to take a bus or a taxi or go to some dusty office.
Yeah.
Well, it's not dusty, it's quite nice actually, but yeah, there's no real way of getting through the red tape.
Right, yeah.
And it shouldn't, it's just too difficult to do it. It's not easy, it's not, that I can join into that.
Yeah.
So identification of community hotspots, more communal areas, and
that's what you need.
Yeah, in my opinion, and that can be done outside space.
Yeah, we definitely had some discussions around that earlier. Any final thoughts about anything you've heard today? Yeah.
What?
Any final thoughts on anything you've heard today?
Nah, I don't have any final.
No. Okay, thank you. Any final thoughts?
Well, I just think a lot of the problems that we've been talking about actually is down to money and funding, and I think, although we've got to accept the situation we're in, I think we've also got to acknowledge that we live in a world, we've got this idea of austerity, which is completely false. When especially in a city where you see so much wealth, and supposedly we've run out of money, so that I think is what can fuel a lot of anger. And the feeling of of betrayal and not really being listened to. However, what can you do to actually challenge? Because I feel like nobody here really voted for this idea of austerity or really supports it. However, we're in this situation, so I don't know the answer, but I think it has caused untold problems where they didn't need to be.
Yeah. And my final thought is that I don't know, man. It seems like there's a lot of underlying anger. I mean, I feel like it is important to be positive, but I still feel like there's just a lot of voices that feel that they're not being listened to, and I don't know. I think I'm optimistic, but it's gonna be tricky times. It could be tricky times ahead. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your weekend.
Can we just give them a round of applause for doing a great job in the middle as host?
Great.
And thanks to Rick on camera as well. doing some, and you know, we will. I'm sure all of the chat over the weekend is going to be listened to, and people are actually going to, you know, respond to some of the ideas. And we've heard a lot of ideas this weekend, so you know, it's not just going to be lost in the ether.